Hello, it's Laurel. I'm sitting at one of my favorite places in Tampa. It's in Ulele, and it's actually a restored spring. And the story behind this spring is that for a while, it's the Ulele spring. It had been sort of like in disrepair. It did not look like this until recently, like several years ago. And they restored it. They put in a lot of different species that are like native species and wetland species. And it's so beautiful. The water is so clear. I mean, you can see right to the bottom. There's turtles here, there's fish, there's all kinds of birds. It's just one of my favorite places. For me, part of my authentic code is nature. I really love being out in nature. I'm actually gonna sit this way so you guys can look at the spring. That's part of my authentic code and I just love it. And a fun story is one time when my mom came to Tampa, it was the first time that she'd been to Tampa, and it was shortly after we lost my brother, so it was like a really hard time. And she was down at the spring with us, and I was standing there where it kind of opens up to the Hillsborough River, and I said, Mom, I said, look, I see a snout. I think I see an alligator. Let's go down. So we got really excited, so we went down to the edge of the spring to look at, the alligator, and it turned out that it was a mama manatee and her baby. And so the water's so nice now, so clear, that they've really done a great job. They've planted a lot of native plants that even manatees come here. So it's just such a cool, like, blessed place. And springs, I think, in a lot of like Native American societies too, or just anywhere really, are just a blessed place of nourishment and a ecological haven. So this place means a lot to me. But I wanted to share something in this video that I'm not sure I've talked about, and it's personal and it's kind of scary. So if you've looked at my story, you would know that in 2017, like after I'd gone through a lot of losses in 2016, I was so stressed out that I walked away from my job. I left it. It was literally making me sick. I felt like a pain, like almost like a pit in my stomach, which is the second energy center, which has to do with relationships and guilt. So interesting enough, it was there that I felt like an actual node, like which I assumed to be a mass. I don't know if it's benign or malignant, I have no idea. But I felt that pain, and I was just sick, I was stressed out. I was like taking multiple medications, Prozac and Adderall, that I was taking, none of which I take now, but I was back then. And I'm not dogging on medications, by the way. I think that they're highly effective, and if you need them, please take them. But at the time I needed them, and I was taking them as well, just to kind of get by day to day. Well, anyway, I left, and I still had that pain, like in the pit of my stomach, and it persisted for a while after I'd left my job. And the funny thing is, in 2019 and into 2020, I started doing Dr. Dispenza's meditations, and a lot of people have had spontaneous remissions of cancer with his meditations, and they've done, like, even people have cured, partial blindness, people have recovered, like, MS, they've reversed some crazy, amazing things. Go out to his website, check out some of the testimonials. I was doing the meditations, and I did them for every day for 8 months, and I did talk about it in some previous videos. And my focus was on like weight loss, financial abundance, and that was pretty much the two goals. And I wanted to manifest going to a Dr. Dispenza workshop because they're expensive. But the thing was, in the background, the thing I wasn't focused on, and I noticed that after like several months of doing them, the pain in my stomach subsided. Because I would feel it when I bend down like this, I feel the pain in my stomach. It's almost like just a nodule, that you can kind of feel it. It's not horrible, but it's like awkward, it's uncomfortable. And they went away. And then I stopped doing the meditations in January because I was like, I need a break. And I kind of felt like it wasn't working for the stuff I was trying to manifest, for like the abundance piece and the workshop. It wasn't coming around. I'd done it for 8 months. I was getting tired of it, and I just stopped doing it. And I got into Lacy Phillips' program, which I think is wonderful and awesome. It's called To Be Magnetic, and I think it's great for subconscious reprogramming with me, like lack of work. I think it's great for, and possibly even more targeted for, manifesting like material things, like whether it's a partner or a job or financial success. So I kind of like focused into that, which is great. It's been healing, and it's been so wonderful. But y'all, I have to say that like I was on the bike today, and for the first time in a while, like I've noticed the pain is back, and it's sort of acute-ish. Like it's not horrible pain, but it's enough that I'm aware of it and I feel it, and it feels like when I poke a specific area of like my stomach area, it feels like painful. It feels worrisome. It doesn't feel like you're poking a muscle, or if you poke your stomach, it shouldn't like really bother you that much. So like I just wanted to observe this, that for me that's a sign that I need to get back into the Dispenza meditation. I'm an engineer. I try to be objective about things, and I can say objectively that after I had done the meditations, probably I would guess maybe 3 or 4 months, like one day I would bend over and I didn't feel the pain. I was like, wow, it's gone. It's not here. I don't feel it. So it worked. It wasn't anything I was trying to manifest. Also with those meditations, I dimensionalized an object a couple times. I'll put some links in the description to those videos. Those were kind of cool. So all the stuff that like I wanted, I guess the impatient me that I wanted wasn't happening. But I think the really important stuff, like my health, was being repaired from the work I was doing with Dr. Dispenza, the daily meditations. So I wanted to record that, wanted to put that out there, that it is back. I stopped doing medications 3 months ago, and woohoo, it's back. And that happens actually a lot with his students. Like there's some students that will say they have cancer, that they will have tumor x-rays or whatever, and they do it and the tumors start to subside and they think, oh, I'm in the green, like I can coast, and then they stop and then they slowly come back. So he does say that a lot, that you need to keep doing it, and for me that's my cue. I'm going to get back into that. I'm going to continue with the 2B magnetic work, and honestly I'm not worried about this. I'm not concerned about it because I know that it works. And a lot of people who have gone through Dr. Dispenza's meditations and his work, and they've read his material, they're like, it works. They all say do the work. So I think for the health piece and for like the pain that I'm feeling, or like discomfort maybe is a better word, that I'm going to continue with the morning meditations with Dr. Dispenza every day. And then I think for the manifesting piece, for like the self-worth and the abundance, I'm gonna continue doing Lacy Phillips 2B magnetic work. So anyway, as always, I want this vlog to be completely clear. I want it to be just a candid documentation of the twists and turns that are in my practice. What I'm finding is that it's not linear. It's not like, oh, I got it right in a month. It's a long, circuitous process, and I want to document that clearly. So if anybody else is going through this, if anybody else is having like a downtime or like a block or whatever, they can realize, oh, this happens to a lot of different people. And just because you quit something and something comes back, or you relapse, like to put it, doesn't mean that you can't pick back up and keep going again. So as always, I'd love to hear your comments if you've been through anything similar, if you've had relapses in your practice. What helped you to get back on the horse? What helped you to keep going? I would love to hear other people's feedback. And as always, thank you so much for sharing in this journey with me. Be blessed.